2, that's working. Okay. Oh my God, all these cars. What's up, guys? How are we doing tonight? It's time for another Saturday night hangout. Just picked up some dehumidifiers, the rechargeable desiccant doohimikikis. I'm going to use these in my filament storage. Pretty stoked about that. That way I don't have to keep taking out all the desiccant, putting it in the dehumidifier, or the hydrator, I should say, and putting it back in. That's just a pain. Let's see here. Tweet went out. Yep. Guess we'll just give it a minute for everything to refresh. Ooh, there we go. Need to get a haircut. I meant to schedule this. That's probably why it's a little slower. I totally forgot to schedule the stream. I do this every Saturday night. I'm also 10 minutes late, but I do it every Saturday night. You'd think I'd remember by now. You really would. Oh, should my phone is on silent tonight because we were going crazy last night. Okay. All right. Well, tonight I'm kind of just hanging out. I need to get some printing, some parts done for Master Crane. So I'm going to be working on that tonight. I have the 2 front braces, or I guess the X-axis braces, which are, pull up the model here. These 2 front pieces, I went ahead and changed these up. So you can see I added a gusset, I guess we'd call this, across the front and up to the top. Gave it some more depth there, so it's a little thicker at the bottom, thinner at the top up there. And hey Gunnar, hey Niam. I'm thinking this will make the model much more stronger. I also made the back completely flat. I did have some, where we go here? Let's go here. There we go. I did have some fillets on the back of this. I still have some on this side, but those are the outside. But this entire back face is now just flat. No more fillets on it. And then I did last night finish the screen, the LCD mount, which is right here. And I'm actually going to go ahead and get that printing on, I think I'll do I guess I'll do it on the Mark III's. It was giving me issues earlier, so I had to kill the print on it. I'm going to try again here. These are printing on Megatron right now. III's, yes. Go down to mine. I hate that you can't change the system presets. It's so annoying. 0.2 speed. Pull this in. Eduardo, what's up? Glad you can make it tonight. You're a little late yesterday. Just doing some printing, man. See what I can get done. I'm gonna test this piece out on some. Just this is gonna be we'll just do generic PETG. No, just do generic. It'll be fine. 2, slice it up. And this should print without support, no problem. I'm not gonna enable it. Kind of YOLO. Paul, what's up, man? Oh, I didn't this is the old version, because the little speaker doesn't really work out too well. That's all one piece here. So we're gonna rename this as LCD mount. And to here. And we'll save this as an STL. I've got the name of the printer is now in it. It says Master Crane. I'm liking that. Here, there, to face it there. Hey, Aaron, Keith, what's up, man? Slice it and dice it. There you go. See, so it'll look kind of like that. You have master crane right there in the front. I've got spot for the reset button and for the knob. I've got the standoffs for the screws to go into. Yeah. Send it to the printer. We are not going to start printing. Then I'm going to go and find out where there's Canvas Hub. Let's preheat you to PETG, PETG. Oh. All right, we got to get we're going to use the Prusa textured sheet. And I said this on Twitter a little while ago. I didn't know, but in like the last version or 2 versions ago, in the Prusa, they changed where you can change your sheet now on the Mark III's in the firmware, and you can save the Z offset for each one of them individually, and you can rename them too. So I have a Geckotech, I have the Prusa, what do I call this? Prusa TX for textured, and then I have Prusa SM for the Prusa smooth one. I still have, I've got the TH3D, I've got Buildtak, I have the, this is the Subtle Designs textured sheet. So I need to eventually go through and add all those into the printer, but I think you can only do 4. So that's kind of odd. Maker Kid, Robert, what's up? What's up? What's up? Heath, since you're the guru here, can you do that in regular Marlin, or is that like a Prusa niche thing, kind of like the autoload filament? Because if that could be done in Marlin, I would love to do that on Megatron, because Megatron uses a Prusa bed. It's just not using a Prusa controller. Now my Bear will be able to do that because that's using a Prusa controller. So that's a different story. But anything with an SKR can't do that. Okay, I need the filament. I'm hoping this should still be dry enough. It's dry season here. It's dry as heck. Humidity is like at an all-time low. Do that. This. Here. Filament. Taking it? Yep. All right. All right, all right, all right. There's a random bolt on the ground. Here's that's a pin. That's my kids. Buggers. You can do something like that with UVL. Oh, okay. Oh, Maker Kit, on which one? It does, Aaron, but because there is a difference between textured and the smooth, your Z offset will be different. Because you also, different sheets, you have different amount of squish. So on the Geckotech, for example, you really don't need very much squish on that, the Geckotech Easy Stick Hot sheet, because it just like, I mean, it holds on really well when you don't have that much of a squish. PEI requires a good bit of squish into the bed in order to make it stick, and so does the Prusa textured sheet, or any of the textured build sheets, or the powder coated textured sheets. You can hear that a little bit. They also require a little bit more squish, kind of to get that in the pores, and that's why you get that very, very cool texture on on the prints. Okay, filament is loaded. That's out of the way. Let's move that filament up there, and let's go ahead over here back to Canvas, and LCD mount, and we're gonna hit print. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that too, Keith. Yeah, because the Prusa sheets are very thick, and the Subtle Design one is also very thick. It's very weighty. But Buildtak also very thick. But the one that you got, the aerodynamic, whatever they're called, their sheets are very, very thin. They're lightweight. Because I think they use that lighter spring steel, or that lighter metal, I should say. Did I have a layer shift in here? No. Oof. I got worried for a hot second. I actually had a brim to this print. Because they use that magnetic, like 3M, basically like what you would put on the back of a magnet at your house, they are a thinner sheet of metal and it holds better. This is too close. So the thicknesses do affect, I guess, that sensing of it, because those the Pinda probe is what, 2mm swing or something, because I know the normal probes that I've been buying have a 5mm sensing distance. The Pinda probe is much closer. I want to say it's 2 or 3mm. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember exactly, but it's something around there. It's pretty shallow. But I might need to, I'm going to hit up Mozart again, the guy that owns that company that you got it from there, Aaron, and ask him if I can get a custom sheet for this one. You just basically hit him up. They tell you to buy one size larger, and then they cut it down to size. So I would be able to get a 180 by 180 to fit this one here. I think he has that one. Polypropylene glass filled bed plate. I've never, does that have a name, Robert? Because I don't know if I'm really familiar with that. Hey, Brandon. I mean, the magnet's cool. This magnet on magnet stuff is garbage. I mean, it really is. I need to get something better for this. I mean, I'm almost tempted to adjust my design and put the, I think I'm going to keep it like this for now, but I'm almost tempted to adjust my design after the competition, because I have a Buildtak magnetic system here that I believe is 200, and I could just slap that on this instead and have a Buildtak magnetic surface on here. Or I was thinking about building a little bit smaller Megatron using that Buildtak magnetic surface also. So I kind of got a few different routes that I can go. All right, that's going to be, I think, good. Hopefully it's not too squished on that first layer. Time will tell, though. My God, you kids. Keep your grubby hands off my office. I just find my random tools just like, I'll just set this over here. My 1-year-old. It does whatever she wants. 20 by 180, yeah. Yours came a little different than mine, Aaron, because again, mine's 177 by 172. That's the larger sheet, and that's what I have on top. I did not get 2 perfect sheets like you did. Oh, it's stuck to the printer. So this is the Buildtak magnetic sheet. I don't know. I think it's 200 by 200. Or 205 by 205. Yeah, 203 by 203. So it's a pretty nifty system. So it's this, if anybody's not familiar with the Buildtak system, let me switch to this camera over here. So this is their magnetic array on the back, and this is the sticky side. So you stick this down, and then you have this just like protective sheet. And then they give you a couple different, I got 2 sheets with mine, and it's a very, very positive connection. You can hear that like just slap together. So I could do that on here. Heck, I could do it that way now. That would even work, which would be pretty hilarious, to be honest. But I have some Buildtak sheets I could use on these. I have some PEI sheets that I could throw on here. I have some Gecko Tech coming. I could put a sheet of Gecko Tech on here as well. So that might end up being the route I go in the end here. But Buildtak, they actually were really good for a while because you just pay shipping and you can give them, your opinion on stuff. They don't even expect a review half the time. They're just like, if you want to try it out, yeah, like, give us good PR. I just haven't used it yet. Eduardo, that's what I'm trying to avoid. So I saw your design. Again, your design is using more extrusion than I am. You can, that went too far. Why are you doing that? Oh, this lens is sticking again. So I have this extra piece in here, kind of just holding it. But for right now, it's just these two X-beams that are holding it together. And I have some much beefier ones, which I showed earlier, printing right now on Megatron in PLA+. 3 perimeters, 20% infill, 4 top, 4 bottom, the gyroid infill. And that should be strong enough to prevent this from shimmy shaking and moving around while I'm printing with it. And we're going to have the new LCD holder tonight. How many hours did that say I was going to take? That's going to take 2 hours, 55 minutes. So stream will be over by the time I get to that, but at least I'll have a thing going there. You know what I might do? I think Gunnar was the one that asked me about maybe the spool holder was holding it back. We're going to try another test print here. And I'm going to switch to the, what are these, the Tush or Cush, whatever they are, spool holders. It's just 2 3D printed pieces sandwiched together on some 608 ZZ bearings. And I'm also going to add on a little piece of PTFE as a feeder, just to make sure that everything is, just make sure nothing is catching or anything like that. So let us temperature, preheat PLA end. Because I don't have the heated bed yet, if I tell it just to preheat PLA, it will error out because there's no thermistor on the bed, because the bed doesn't exist yet. I am waiting for that part to come in, which I am optimistic it will be here Monday, I'm hoping. So it was made by Buildtak. Interesting. And I did swap out, so I did make a 3D printed corner bracket. I did swap that out for 2 metal ones just to see if that changed anything. But I think I'm going to go with Aaron's suggestion and do the blind joint in the extrusion. I think I'm going to go that route. I think that'll be better to do. Just have to kind of wait and see. And I thought I had, unless it's that piece there. Yeah, that was the one. I thought I had another leftover piece of 2040 V-slot somewhere, but I looked everywhere, couldn't find any. So I'm thinking I didn't have any leftovers. Because this printer really should be using V-slot. I just didn't have any. And I don't think I ordered. I'm going to look up my Ziltech order. I don't know if I ordered any V-slot. I think I ordered all T-slot. Why'd I put the garbage can way over there? Oh, wind. Let me look that up real quick. Without a way too. This one here. Email. Red. I need to get back to them. Tech. Something that I ordered. What did I order? I ordered the 2020. I did order the 2040. I did get is V-slot, so I will go down and cut that then. I'll swap out this T slot for V slot since that finally came in. I'm going to, I think I set the unload thing in here. Change filament. I think I set it right on the last firmware update that I did. I wanted to make sure that I could use the load and unload feature in Marlin for the filament. What's this on my desk? Unloading. Nope, I guess I didn't put the right length in yet. I still need to measure that out, I think. Oh, Buildtak's version of PEI. Okay, Robert. That as well. There we go. I'm also going to go ahead and switch out filament too. Just because I kind of want to rule it out. So let me get first a piece of this. So I'm going to, which side's flat? This side's flat. I took a little too much off on there. And we'll just go like that far with it. And we'll stick it in here. Okay, let me find another roll of filament here that I can afford to burn through. I mean, there's lots here. Kind of can pick what I want. Is this ABS or is this PLA? Oh, I still got a spool maker geeks here. I think it's too funny. Oh, that is hilarious, actually. Thought I had another test spool that I was working through. Oh, it's right there. Yeah, let me grab that one. No, I want to get a better. Let me get a better spool. Thing about having filament everywhere, you don't really know where to start half the time. And all of these containers are buried because I'm doing way too many projects at once right now. Close some of this real quick. Oh, I can use this one. I've got a transition spool that I made that will work out just good. This is a spool of MakerBox samples because I don't use all the PLA on my test print. I generally have a length left over. And I obviously keep them because I am a pick rat. And this is one of those spools I used in the Palette 2S video to create a spool of filament from. Keep loading these BMGs. I know people like them. They drive me freaking bonkers. I guess I should have designed a spool holder for this to go right off the back of the power supply. That would be cool. Something that could just attach right on the back there. All right. Now we're going to go with the benchy again. See how this sucker does. Everyone still has maker geese filament left over. Hey, Derek. Shoot, let me go back here. So the Ender 2, when I had it, was my favorite printer at the time. I have fantastic prints that I've shown on the channel with the Ender 2. I was honestly really, really sucky to get rid of that machine. I needed to downsize machines, and I had to get rid of that one because its build volume was just so small. That's why I got rid of a lot of the other small printers now. It's just the build volume is just too small for me. So that's why. But I loved the Ender 2. I think Brandon has one. He loves it. Like, sit down. Where's my thing? I'm also not too impressed with my my fan duct. I tried really hard on it, and I think I kind of boshed it a little bit. So you guys can watch the little sucker go. And I think there's something up with my Z end stop mount. I don't think I have the T-nuts spaced far enough apart to give a good lock on it. So it's definitely not going to be an amazing first layer, but that's okay. You have an Ender 2, Brandon. That's what I was saying. So back here, what were people saying? Robert is asking how to get Marlin work with the screen. Marlin works. This is the RepRap Smart Discount Controller. It works just fine, no issues at all. The one that Keith is working on is the Maker, the MKS LCD 12864B version. This is the 32-bit version of it for this board, and it does not work with it. There's a pins issue, I believe Keith said, and as he is one of the troubleshooters behind it, he has said he is working on it. I kind of go from there. Yeah, Keith is saying that the cantilever design is very beefy. It can be. I'm doing it super minimalistically, and I'm using a ton of 3D printed parts, PETG specifically, which also could be my problem. PETG is strong, but it does flex, or PLA is strong and does not flex. So that could be something. Dedicated Derek, Maker's Geek, yep, everybody has it. Try to stream work on the CR10S Pro. This one should work on the CR10S Pro. Well, actually, I don't have that one. I have the CR10S, not the Pro version though. So that the 10S uses EXP1 and 2, where the Ender 3 uses EXP3 to run it all. Wiggles is a better word. Yeah, Aaron, I get you there. Yeah, I know, Keith, you said you made some, it would be jank if I did it. And so I was like, you know what? We're just going to pump the brakes. We're just going to run with this one. I designed a screen for it, which again is printing right now on the Mark 3S over here. And it's looking okay so far, I guess. We're on layer 2, I think. We are 44% of the way into the new legs. They will not be done till probably 5 or 6 in the morning. We're 6 hours in. Got about 7 more hours to go. It's what now? 9 o'clock? Yeah, it'll be like 5 o'clock in the morning when those finish up. So little guy's going. I mean, this is 30 millimeters a second. That's the other thing. I set the max in Prusa Slicer to 50. Everything is set to 30. And this thing goes so bloody fast for being 30 millimeters a second. I'm thinking it's not actually running at that speed. And for some reason, it's running even faster. But again, I put the max limit in Prusa Slicer to 50. And this looks faster than 52 sometimes. So I'm just not really sure. I have an SKR E3 dip with only EXP3 port working right before graphic display. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, this is the MKS Robin E3 V1. So integrated TMC 2209 drivers. Again, Keith did kind of warn me that it's a first version, and so is this screen, and I shouldn't have bought it. But hey, I thought it looked cool. The price was just too right. So here I am. But yeah, the goal will be is once I can confirm that this all functionality works, I'll retake my measurements and I'll cut down that new V slot. I should probably go down and get that. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Because I'll have these parts will all be finished for tomorrow. I'll recut down at least these two parts into V slot and go from there. Drill them all out and everything. Probably made the logo a little deep. I made it a millimeter deep. Probably could have just did like 0.4, 0.6, but whatever. I'm not sure if it's acceleration. I couldn't find it anywhere that you're talking about. Switch here to Master Crane. Speed, again, I have the travel speed is at 50. Max print speed is set to 50. Everything else, the max is 30 on everything. So unless there's someplace in here that does speed that's not the speed tab, I don't know why it's going so fast. Because it truly, I mean, it almost feels like Delta fast. Maybe my acceleration is just that fast. Because what's acceleration at? So, is this the right one? Yeah, so if I do, my max acceleration is only 1,000 on X and Y. It's really not that fast. Hey Dan, just kind of hanging out doing prints and working on some of my machines. Feeling the progress I made last night. Got the LCD holder printing now. At least the first version of it. I might end up chamfering out of it a little bit more, but I don't know yet. Just kind of have the eyes on the little printer here. Zoom out a little bit here. Not that far. Not that close. There we go. That's good enough. I have to say, this little spool holder from Anycubic, I got this with the, I think this came with the Delta. This has been fantastic. I've had this for so long. But it's great for printers like this that I didn't build a spool holder for. Or for like some of the crappy printers that come that don't have spool holders. Like I had that Easy 3D one. I've had this ever since I had the Tornado, didn't have a spool holder. The Tevo Tarantula Pro didn't have a spool holder. It's been great to have a little mobile spool holder hanging around. So far, it's looking all right. It's just, I mean, so the thumbnail for this video is the best benchy I had so far. This is the first one here. No, this is the second one. Yeah, this is the first one here. This is the first benchy I had off this printer. And you can see there's a little bit of stair-stepping here which leads me to believe that something is either A, not aligned, which 100% could be because of my modeling skills, or something else is wrong. I don't know. I kind of want to also print it in a different orientation and see if it's the same. But you can see there's just some irregularities here in the bow on the different transition. This is where the deck is. There's a whole video about that, how you get this deck issue. That's where the solid layers start and kind of shrink everything in a little bit if you don't have a really tuned printer. But the smokestack is like perfect, which just kills me. And then this is the most recent Benchy. This one came out much better. So this is after I secured the frame a little bit, but you can still see there's still a few set locations that are having issues, and they are the same. I don't know if I can hold both these at once and make it legible there, but you can see some of the top one here above the top of the doorway is the same at the top of this doorway. The other issues in this one are a little less subtle, but they're still there. So it honestly really has me head scratching, because that's how that looks. But a cube, come on, focus on my hand. There we go. A cube looks pretty good. Obviously, you can see some issues in there. Overall, doggone good cube for a printer that's made out of like bottom of the barrel parts. Like these are the cheapest parts that you as a consumer can buy. Like literally, it does not get any cheaper than this. It is the cheapest hot end. It is the cheapest fans. It is the cheapest BMG clone. The motors are, honestly, they're scrap from other printers, so they're just motors. Honestly, I don't think there's any difference with NEMA 17 motors. A motor's a motor. It's a super cheap 24-volt power supply. It is the cheapest 32-bit board you can buy. I mean, like, it is, like, cheap, 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 cheap. Yeah, this is $127. Actually, it's cheaper. It's like $123 or $22 because $127 is with ABL. And I don't have ABL on this. I have the probe, this like god-awful tiny probe. This thing is, what's the measurement on this? Did I pick up here's my calipers. This thing is a 6mm probe. It is so tiny. I just couldn't I wasn't happy with a mount for this, so I didn't end up doing it. And also I don't have a spring steel sheet on here, so this won't work because it needs metal. So once I get a spring steel sheet for it and I redesign some type of way to mount this on there, which I'm kind of thinking about making something bolt on to the back maybe, and have it just like zip tie on maybe. I don't really know yet, but I couldn't integrate it into my design very well. I don't have Aaron's design skills. I know he has a mount for his. I just could not figure it out without it being so tiny and it just like break off once I printed it. That's the problem, which a lot of people remind me is, or I try also remind people, is that when you're in Fusion 360, all the details look huge. So like when you zoom in on something, I mean like, oh, like this is such a big difference. Like look at this gap here between this part and this part. Well, I mean, in reality, let's see, if I do a inspect from this face to that face, we are talking a 0.5 millimeter difference. But here it looks like a foot. Like it just looks huge. There's really not that much space. And that is the one issue with working in Simplify 3D is everything looks absolutely enormous. And those fine details are just so small. So kind of just have to do that. This is, I believe this is inductive. Let me look up the part number again here real quick. Let's see here. This is J88A 32 3-2 ZBX. Inductive. So it needs metal. in order. Inductives need metal, I believe, right? Capacitive can do anything. Inductive needs, so like the PH3D EABL is inductive. It can sense anything, but these other ones need a metal surface to detect. And the surface, this one is a NPN 2 mil. So it's a very short distance that it needs to detect on. It is also 5 volts, so it does not require a optocoupler. I can just do it with just this. Josh from Alien 3D, what is up, dude? The stream. I could do some testing and see, but the nice thing about these 5-volt ones, because these are the ones that they recommend for the Ender 3, because there's a little mount you can mount on there, and then it just goes right into the Z probe because it's 5 volts, which is really nice. I do like that. Although I just realized this translucent green is really going to hide a lot of the crimes of this printer, which might be okay. You know, that might be a quite okay thing. I think these are the only 2 things I have to print for this. Oh, I did get, let me show you guys this stuff here. Where am I at? Let me change the camera here. That one, there we go. So I got the sheeting in for the BLV MGN Cube. This is all cut to size, but I still need to do all of my notches and everything. Let me get, I asked for a test sheet of their yellow, because I'm doing that printer that's black and yellow. I wanted to see what their yellow looked like. It's cool stuff. So it's a very nice bright yellow. And I'll switch other camera to be able to zoom in on this well enough. So it is very, very thin. It's fairly flexible, but it's still a pretty hard surface. And this is like a mix. It's basically a PVC sheeting. It's like the same stuff that pipes are made out of. It's very similar to that. Again, it's got some flex to it. Obviously, it's not pipe. So I thought this would be really good for the build, and it would easily be able to mark and drill through this to mount the different boards and power supplies, things like that. And look at that. But yeah, I should call the BLV Bumblebee being all yellow and black. But I'm super excited for this stuff. I just have to, that's going to be a whole day of just measuring. I could just call it the Steelers printer because I'm from Pittsburgh and black and yellow. If you're a American football fan. But yeah, it'd be my Steelers 3D printer. Black and gold technically, but you know, whatever. But yeah, could call that Bumblebee. And I did get, I don't know if I showed on one of the streams. Let me pull it out here real quick. Oh, I gotta move some of this stuff around. I have too many projects right now. It's kind of my problem. Here is the Energetic 3D. That's what same one you got, Aaron. Where am I at? I'm up on this camera now. Energetic 3D. So this is a 342 by 342 build plate, double-sided smooth PEI sheet for the BLV MGN Cube. I thought I got the powder coated, which really makes me want to go and look at my AliExpress order because I thought I ordered something different. Steelers are the best, Dan. Better watch yourself. In. Work, yeah. Account, orders. Orders. I don't want notifications. Come on. Here. Down, I should find it. Ordered a bunch of stuff recently. Yeah, so he did send me the wrong one. So I ordered a double-sided. Maybe this isn't it. Because it didn't come with the magnetic sheet. What is this then? This might just be the regular one that I ordered. Of course, tracking is unavailable. Come on, man. Did I order from him more than once? Because this might be... Is this the same size as this one? You know what it is? I ordered 2 of these. I ordered one for the current bed and one for the new bed, didn't I? This is why I have too much going on, because I order things and I kind of don't think about it. And I'm just like, crap. And I confuse myself 3 months later after I order something. I just ordered the wrong thing. Or I ordered the right thing back then, but now it's the wrong thing. Yep, there it is right there. 37 bucks I paid for that one. $38. That's double-sided. See, why'd I do that? Why would I do that? In that current bed, I screwed up. And I can't use it. So now I have that big old sheet for no reason. Oh well. Yeah, I'll see if somebody needs one. Let's see here. Oh, thanks, Keith. I just see your message here. So maybe adjusting some of my settings. This is Marlin 2.0, Keith, right? Oh no, this is old firmware. Oh yeah, Marlin 2. It's 350 by 350, Aaron. Which is the bed that comes, or it's 300. It's 310 by 310. So if I was to put like a magnetic sheet on one of my big printers, I could use that then, but I don't have that on any of those big printers. Yeah, this definitely hides a lot of your crimes when you use a translucent filament. When you use something opaque, you can just be like, oh, there's the issue. But translucent, not so much. Probably not a good filament to test with. It's Marlin 2.0, yes. Okay, I will check this out later, Keith, and see how they look versus mine. So I guess I can do it right now. Really do anything right now. Let's pull that over there. Let's pull configuration over here. Well, so acceleration in theirs is 500. So change this to 5,000, 500, 500, 61050, 500, 5. Same. Yeah, the acceleration for the Ender 3 is half of what I have. And then, yeah, this is 500. This is 500. with 500 for travel. Jerks, jerks is the same. Default e-jerk is 5, yep. If that's enabled, that is not enabled, so. All right, thank you, Keith. So it's basically half of what I'm currently running at. Maybe that will help a little bit. Time will tell, I guess. I'm going to let this one obviously finish because I started a print. See how it turns out. We're about a third of the way through, or 33%. We are a third away exactly into this print. See how this one turns out using a different filament and a different spool holder with the PTFE lead, we'll call it, going into the extruder. Maybe having that extra couple inches of PTFE on there makes it easier transition for it to get up in there. All right, we're past the logo now on there. We've still got 2 hours left. I am going to need a snack here soon. Oh, I do have chocolate though. Yummy, yummy. Another thing for anybody who's from or around Pittsburgh, Sarah's Candies. I still have some foiled eggs from Easter, but they're still good. This chocolate, it's good forever, right? Does chocolate expire? There's no expiration date on this. But these are one of those goodies from home that I cannot live without. So if you guys want to buy me a coffee with the link, I will buy chocolate with it. Because I don't drink coffee. But I will buy snacks with that money. Or more Pepsi. Not a sponsor. Yet. I mean, I did change some of the stock settings, but I mean, I lowered it down from what was stock, but obviously not enough for this. I've also never written my own firmware. I mean, I've only written Marlin 2 firmware 3 or 4 times now. So I wrote it for Megatron, the BLV, the Sapphire Pro, for now Master Crane. So it's 4 times I've written. This is the 4th time I'm working on my own custom firmware from not quite scratch, but basically scratch. So I gotta figure out what to do with the fan shroud. It's just too close. What to do with that one? I just need to pay Aaron, buy him off for the competition, even though I can't win. But whatever. All right, what else did I need to do tonight? So I needed to, that part's printing, the LCD is printing. There was something else I needed to print tonight. What was it? I'm really hoping that more parts come in on Monday because I want to get the bear finished. And I want to get the BOV going more, but I don't think all those parts are going to come in yet for the bed. I need to start clearing out some more printers because I'm building more custom ones than I thought I would. 3D printing and painting, what is up? Glad you could make it to the stream. The thing I do need to decide though is, so I've been talking to Aaron about this. I am trying to, well, especially Aaron after seeing that dude's today, he made it out of a picnic chair or lawn chair. Yeah, that's ingenuitous at max right there. I'm making a few more Megatrons or Megatron likes, and I just have not figured out what I'm going to print those in. I do have some PETG. I just got more in from Buildtak, so I couldn't use some of that to do it. But I just need to figure that out, and I need to start preparing either Bear parts or Megatron parts, which I think I'm going to go with Megatron parts because that's all 2020 extrusion. But I think I'm going to design one a little bit smaller for that Buildtak sheet, just so I can use it. And I have beds that can go onto. I think you just slap it onto a. It's step one. Yeah, it just fits on the thing. Let me grab one out here real quick. I don't know if I can reach one. All this stuff down here. Come on. I got one here. This is the bed off the Buildtak 2020 i3, which became Megatron. So it's regular old bed there. And then what do I do with the Buildtak one at? Whoops. Just fits on there like that. I take the sheet off. The reflection looks horrible. Yeah, so it just fits into the middle just like so. Do not exceed 120°C actual surface temperature. Wait, your flex plate's not on. Oh yeah, you have to have the flex plate. They don't print on this. But maybe I could do that. Put this onto this here. And then the only issue is figuring out a carriage to mount this to. I think I threw away the carriage from the Buildtak. I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm going to do for those. But I like using the Prusa beds, but I'm kind of thinking maybe to go with some Ender 3 beds instead. They're heated plates because they're much cheaper. And then just putting a different flex plate system on that. I don't know. Dentuous, yes, the custom printers are taking over my life and my shop now. Because I don't really get review printers anymore because no one buys from GearBest anymore. If they do, they buy from like Neary or Maker's Views or something like that, one of the big channels. They don't buy from me. So they don't get enough sales, so they don't send me stuff anymore. So I'm trying to find alternative ways to have revenue and new things on the channel, and I think custom printers might be the way to go. Ivan Miranda has the corner on gigantic printers because he has, number one, enormous space, and like 2 of his printers would take up my entire shop. So I'm thinking more custom printers, more custom printer builds is what's going to kind of be my future here. At least for the time being, until they decide, oh yeah, let's start sending him stuff again. Because they don't. FISEC bed. I have the FISEC bed. That's actually what's on Megatron. But it's still like 30 or 40 bucks. Like, they're not that cheap. Where are we at here? Sec. Spelled that wrong. FYSETC. There we go. that still right? Oh, I can type Jack today. There we go. So if we do bed. Oh, they have a PCB for Ender 3. So Ender 3. Let's go to the FiStack store. FiStack store. It's more cheaper. Heated bed. More cheaper. Yeah, because like their Mark III is $60. $12. That is way cheaper. Oh my goodness. Why is that so cheap? I make a printer tank and ride it while it prints. Yes, I could see that. That is stupid cheap. This is the one you're talking about, Eduardo? Wow, that's cheap. And you stick the magnets on it like that. Interesting. It's $30 for the whole shebang. That is way cheaper. I mean, it is smaller. Not that much smaller, though. It's almost the same build volume as the Mark III, because the Mark III is 250 by 210. So you're taking 15 off. Another one that's exactly the same build volume, just oriented differently. Wow, that's cheap. Hey, Aaron, I think we need to redesign to go with this, man. I guess I could keep it exactly the same size and just have extra space on the sides. Like, that wouldn't really matter, right? That is cheap. Wow. Now I need, okay, so if I do that, all right, you got me thinking now. If I go that route, an Ender 3 heat bearing carriage, this is what I was looking for right here. $12. 13, 14 with shipping. Like I said, I have the FiStack beds. They're $46 for just the bed. That's a lot. It probably would fit, Aaron, because the Z on the FiStack bed's not that, or the Y, it's not that big. The Ender 3, where are we at here? Get stuff out of the way. Yeah, it's Megatron's bigger on the Y. Whoops, whoops, oh shoot. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Stop it. No, 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 don't do that. It's without sticking it to the bed. Ah, come on. Hand. Yeah, I mean, it's big. Megatron is bigger than the Ender 3. But the only thing I don't like is that it rides the that 2040 rail. So we'd have to find a new way to mount this. And I kind of feel like just doing a linear. They have some other ones here. What do you think, Aaron? We should make the Y a linear rail? Fuchsia. The 3 Pro 1. I've tried that with some people on Ally, but they just don't do it. I mean, I've contacted them and saying, hey, do you want to help out with a build? Do you want to, hook me up with this and I'll promote your stuff? I've had one company go on that, and that was for the Mars. But none of them are really willing to do anything about it. Search for Ender 3Y carriage. AliExpress. If we were to use an Ender 3 carriage, which I'm not against, I mean, the problem is not the carriage. It's just figuring out how to mount it is the problem. Right now, Megatron uses the Prusa bed, okay? So it's using smooth rods, where the Ender 3 bed is not made for that. Mounting holes are on these ones here. That's a TiVo one. This would be fine because you could drill it out. Yeah, it would just be figuring out a custom. And BLV's using a, there's the BLV Ender 3. The BLV bed, the Y carriage. That would work out. And we just need to figure out how to do the belts and all that jazz. I could piddle with it. I'll leave this up. Maybe I'll contact them, see if they'll send me just the bed. Because if that has the mounts, the whole thing is putting on a linear rail would make it easier because the Ender 3 bed is not made for smooth rods. And finding something that's already exists really makes life a lot easier. Here's a different Prusa bed, which is very cheap. Like very, very cheap. What is it made out of? Oh, it's aluminum composite. That's why it's so cheap. It's not actually aluminum. So it's that, what's that stuff called? Same stuff that the new Buildtak is made out of. Yeah, it's easier just to find something that's already made. 100%. So thank you. Who gave me that? Eduardo gave me that idea. I would think I would definitely do some research and maybe some modeling around that and see if I can get just this bed here. Because if they can send me just the bed, I can make that work for Megatron. 100%. Just takes an extra. We don't even have to use a piece of 2020 down the middle. Just need to put a bracket on it. Assuming we get a long enough piece of, I'd have to measure out. Well, because right now, yeah, 100%, that would work because, man, you guys got me off a deep end here now. Oh, this is going off such a deep end. So let me go into Megatron real quick. Megatron. Hey, all right, cool, Aaron. Thanks for hanging out for a bit, man. We'll talk later. I think I could easily do this. I just need to make a mount for the and figure out how to do the belt. That's going to be a little more difficult part. Unless I just offset the belt. But yeah, so I mean, these are already, I would just need one 400 millimeter MGN9 because these smooth rods are 400 millimeters and they sit on top. So they would be edge to edge. So I would just need to make some little clamp, some little foot that the MGN9 would fit into, and then it would clamp from the top, then that would clamp to the 2020 extrusion, and then that would fit right on there. Ooh. But the belt, that makes the belt a little more difficult to figure out. I can't really see how. Might have to do like some kind of like gnarly pulley system on the front there though, to be able to do that. To go around the 2020 in the front. That part's the head scratcher. The belt is the head scratcher. But otherwise, that is a fantastic idea to make Megatron's design much cheaper. Because I mean, that would save $50 almost by going that route. Between the carriage, the build plate, and the spring sheet, the heated bed, the carriage, the heated bed, and the spring steel sheet, in total, it's like $100. And if I could do it for $50, ooh, that brings Megatron's price way down. So Aaron and I have already been working on a few alternatives. So rotate the orientation Ender 3 for the bed, for the belt. What do you mean rotate the orientation? Really tracking what you mean there. I mean, because it's at the front and the back. It has to be a push-me-pull-you situation. And then the Ender 3, it's going through a piece of 2040 in the front. I want to keep the square frame of Megatron. I think it's much stronger than the Ender 3 having that X. I don't particularly like that. Don't put the belt as an Ender 3 for the Y-axis. Do it, instead of doing it this way, do it this way. Right? Is that what you mean? That is an interesting solution. But still require an interesting solution for the idlers. But could work. Because I could put the idlers underneath that piece. Okay. Okay. So if we have the rail coming down, that would mean from the front we have our 2020, we have our MGN9, and then we have the belt situation like that. And then we have just a pulley through here. Yeah, so it would be, let me switch cameras here real quick. So it'd be, this is the 2020 extrusion here. The MGN bolts in from right here on top. And then the belt runs down here sideways. And I would just have to make a pulley underneath the MGN rail. And then the motor would also be that way. So, and I think the feet should give me plenty of clearance. I would just need to design a new motor bracket here in the back. Have some of the new motor bracket in order to be able to support that design there in the back. That is a very interesting solution. Eduardo. Well, I don't have to lose anything because I can do whatever I want. I can make my own attachment for that bed. I don't have to use, well, I can't though. I'm gonna be making my own attachment anyways for the bed. So I'm not limited to the edge of the build plate. So on the carriage, I'm not limited to these surfaces right here and right here. Or I'm sorry, here and here. Because that one also it's filled in, but I could drill my own holes and make my own mount wherever and however I wanted. Which I could actually use the one that I'm using for Megatron. I could technically use that that Y bracket. Just rotate it. And it would attach a little bit differently. That's a fantastic idea, Eduardo. Someone's saying this caused the belt to be eaten on one side though. It shouldn't be eaten at all because it's not going through anything. This, the way that I have it laid out here, there's nothing around the belt. The MGN rail is up top, and then this is just in thin air, just like it is on an i3. There's just a pulley on one side, it'll mount to the bed somewhere, and then the motor on the back side. That's it. So it is completely open in the air. I like that idea. Super unique. That deserves a piece of chocolate for me. I'd give you a piece, Eduardo, but you're a few countries away. If it's properly tensioned, it won't sag. Belts don't get eaten on a Core XY if they're tensioned properly and they're running vertically like that. They're not like that. John's talking about a Thompson shaft. I have no idea what that is. Yeah, belt shaved over time, but I gotta be straight with you. I've never really tensioned any of my machines, and I don't really ever have a problem with them. Not gonna lie. Under 2 years, never once have I retensioned the belts on that, and that has hundreds, if not over like 2,000 or 3,000 hours on it. The Anycubic i3 Mega I've had for 3.5 years now. Never once have I tightened the belts on that before, on the X or Y. And Y goes vertically. Y goes like this. It's not here. It's like this. I do get that, but honestly, I have never tightened a single belt on any one of my printers after it's been built. Maybe I'm just lucky, but the way that I personally tension them, they don't need any more than that. Well, Voron, like that machine, I want to build one so badly. Those machines look so epic. I really want to build one. I think after the BLV, maybe in a year or two, I think a Voron build is 100% in my future because it is such a cool build. I buy the cheapest belt I can find on AliExpress, 100%. The very, very cheap GT2 6mm belt. It's like $5 for 5 or 10 meters, whatever it is. The cheapest I can find. I am so cheap. That is what I buy. You know what, guys? Aside from some stringing, this filament is looking much better. I definitely can see the deformation though, where the deck starts and goes across. There's a little dimple in the front of the bow there. But I mean, we're only 67% in, and a little bit of stringing. It's easy to fix. But this filament's looking a lot better than this stuff. Why did this come out so bad? I've never really had. This is the premium neat filament from 3D Printing Canada. This stuff has been great on everything else. Maybe it's just the profile I have set up for this machine. I don't know. But we'll wait and see, because now we're on the cabin. It really will tell on the walls of the cabin whether I have this stepping issue on this as I do with that, or on this print as I do with these ones. Time will tell. So that could be it, Keith. I only ever print PLA and PETG. Printing an ABS just is not. Again, Aaron's not here anymore, but he is the ABS king. Like, he prints everything in ABS because he is cheap, and you can get ABS for, like, some of the deals on eBay is like $10 a roll for free shipping on eBay. You can definitely getting really, really cheap ABS. I don't print it though. I have a couple of spools of it. If I once in a while need to print something from outside, I will. But honestly, PLA and PETG do everything I need them to do. Den, I'm going to call you Den because I don't want to pronounce your whole name wrong every time. This is a MKS Robin E3V1. So it has integrated TMC 2209 drivers, and it is $20 US. It is the cheapest 32-bit board with drivers that I could find. That is why I'm using it. Oh, John saying, thought I was an engineer. No, John, I'm an IT guy. That is all I am. I am not an engineer whatsoever. I do love how quiet this printer is, though. It is so quiet because those 2209s. I just think back to the days of the Ender 2. Great printer, but God, was it loud and obnoxious. And my kids broke this fan. I don't know how many of you are parents out there, especially a techie father or a techie mother. But my kids, what they do is when they break stuff, they put it here on my table or they put it on my desk. And I've got half a dozen things here today that they broke. And one being this little fan that we got, which I really like because it uses 18650 batteries instead of some other, so I can charge it via USB, or I can just have some 18650s with me and swap it out, and we're back in action very quickly. So I'm going to need to, is that all lined up now? Yeah, I'm going to need to epoxy this time because, golly, these kids are destructive. And having 5 kids, they are definitely destructive. But I think I do have some epoxy left over, so I got that lined up now. I'm gonna epoxy all of those points and hopefully stop them from breaking this. So I like that fan. Yeah, ABS for inside of a car, absolutely. If I was printing stuff for inside my car, I would use ABS. But I don't, and I hardly ever print anything for outside. Darren, yep. Eduardo, that's true. Aaron actually prints his ABS. I think he's heading in the garage or like another room. I have the fully enclosed FT5 down here, right there, with a carbon filter on it. So if I do need to print ABS, I print that. I still usually start it at the end of the night, like right before I go to bed, and I'll close the office door and I'll turn my fan here. I have a little window fan here. I'll turn it inside out so it blows outside of the office. Right now it's pulling air in because I am dying in here. It's super hot today. I mean, it says 75 in here, 46% humidity, but it feels a lot hotter than 75 with these printers going. There's 3 printers running right now of 20, but when I was doing PPE, I was dying. Anyways, yeah, so I'll put ABS on, put this fan blowing out of the house, and then I will close the office door. So that way, if the print is still going in the morning, the kids usually wake up before I do, they can come down and not have to worry. I don't have to worry about the smell or anything going through the house because it's all getting sucked out of the house. Darren, it's not bad. It's definitely, I think it's improving with this next print here, but let me give you a close up here real quick. Anybody that's just new to the stream here. So this is the Benchy coming off of my $130 printer, or actually it's $124. You see there is some issues here. Keith and someone else, it could be some my acceleration is just a little too high for a cantilever style machine. So I'm hoping to fix some of that. Right now, I've also, Gunnar said he thinks that my filament was pulling a little too much on this spool, and the fact that I did not have a piece of PTFE. You see right here, the blue. This is a piece of PTFE now leading into the Buildtak. He said that also could be an issue there. So I've switched to a push or tushy, whatever these are called, with the 608ZZ bearings. I've switched to that spool holder, put a piece PTFE in there, and now I'm trying it with a different filament to see if we get any better results, which definitely could be happening here. We'll see what happens. I do have some ASA here. I just haven't used it yet. Oh, you live in Houston? Yeah, definitely not. When it's summer here, it's hot. It's not Houston hot, but it gets hot here. I'm in the southern hemisphere, so yeah, it can be pretty toasty down here. Humidity gets in the high 90s. Yeah, Darren, it definitely can be. Honestly, I haven't really done any tuning on this. Like, I haven't even tuned my E-steps yet. To be frank, I have not. I'm just trying to see what happens with it. I have not done PID tuning. I have not done E-steps tuning, which I'm pretty sure is pretty close to spot on. I'm just playing to see what happens with it. I'm more trying to solve my my frame rigidity issues first. And then once I solve the frame rigidity issues, then I will worry about fine-tuning extrusion for that. So, Dimple, I'm going to call you Dimple. Thank you for that. This is the printer that I have created for the 3D printing challenge that I'm currently running here on my channel. It goes through September 1st. And if you're unfamiliar with it, real quickly, it is a challenge that I put out to beat the Easy3D with X2. Is a $130 printer with a 100 by 100 by 100 build volume. My goal and my challenge to the community was to design your own printer 100% from scratch. There is not a single part on here that you will find on Thingiverse. I have designed every single piece on my own in Fusion, which is brutal, and I'm not a designer, but that is what I wanted to do. And I wanted you to help design that and have a printer that costs less than 130 US, a print volume bigger than 100 cube, that does better. That is the challenge. So there has been quite a few more entries into the channel, or into the challenge, I say, sorry, on the Discord channel. So if you guys want to join in on this, there's a link down below for it, or for the Discord. Just join there, the 3D Printing Challenge channel. is where everything related to this challenge is being posted. So if you need ideas, or if you have ideas, if you want to share your progress, or if you want to be totally secretive and just say, hey, I'm working on it, not going to show it off, by all means, join in. Most everyone is right now very open with what they're designing. There is one other design very similar to mine. Aaron's is very similar to the Prusa Mini. He took a lot of inspiration from that to make his. We just had a lawn chair entry today. We have one Core XY design. So the lawn chair one is an i3 style. There's three cantilever designs. One Core XY looks like it's a construction site. Super cool looking. And there's like 4 other people, maybe 5 other people that said that they're building, but they haven't like got anything to show yet. So I'm looking right now around 10 people that are participating. So if anybody else wants to participate, by all means, please join in. Or if you have any insight for anybody, go ahead and join in there too. I am also very impressed. I will say this is totally, I'm going way off tangent here because it's what I do. These 2209s are so cool. I just have a heatsink on them, no fan on them, because it's all open air. Like there's no enclosure here. Now, I know Aaron put on an enclosure fan because his electronics, Z motor, and LCD are all in a enclosed cabinet that he made. So he added on a fan to ventilate that, which is very good. But because mine's all open air, I don't really need it. So I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it at all. So how are we doing here? We are on the, oh, we're doing the walls now on the LCD screen. Some sauce. I made that front super thick. Like, thick. I might need to reiterate that design and make the front of that LCD thinner. I think I made it a few millimeters. They can work fanless below 800 mAh. That is good to know, because I don't think I have anything running that high. You don't even know what I set the steps to, or it's under configuration advanced. Close all this. Where am I? Oh, here we go. I have X is 510, Y at 510, Z at 5. Yeah, they're all at 500. E at 650. Yeah, they're all really low. So it has no, I mean, at that low, it has no problem moving any of these axes. Another thing that I can do that would definitely be cheating though, because I've ripped apart a few printers now, I have a lot of the aluminum brackets left over from them. So I honestly could replace, like my Y bracket here, I could replace that with a metal bracket if I so choose so later, which could be an option. The motors are nice and cool. Nothing's really hot at all. Yeah, they're just, I mean, barely warm. Really nice. I'm happy, I think. I mean, I think I'm happy. I think once I get out the V slot and cut that down, I'll do the blind joint on the Z tower. Oh, the other thing I didn't really mention. So the build volume of mine is 172 on the X, 177 on the Y, and 200 millimeters on the Z. The reason why it's 200 millimeters on the Z is because the smallest threaded rod that I had, or I'm sorry, not threaded rod, the smallest lead screw that I had was 300 millimeters. So I decided to use that for my BOM. They're like $1.50 or $2 on Ally. They're very cheap. I did not go with an integrated Z because that is much more expensive. And again, the whole goal of this is to be cheap as possible. So that was definitely one of the hardest things of designing your own 3D printer is lining up the Z. Lining up X is easy, Y super easy. The Z carriage and how you do the Z is so difficult, like so difficult, because being able to line up the motor mount with the motor, with the Z coupler and lead screw, and then having all of that be in line with the actual gantry that goes up and down and where that lead screw is, that was definitely insanely challenging for me. It might be very easy for other people, but once Aaron taught me the align tool in Fusion, that helped out significantly. And I think he ended up doing like a mini class basically on the Discord with a couple people that wanted to learn how to do align. And he's shown other people from there, and I've shown other people as well, but how to use the align tool. That helped out tremendously on getting everything lined up properly in your design. But Z is definitely the hardest part. I think this LCD screen also proved pretty challenging for me, at least. But I'm really hoping like somebody who's like killer in Fusion, like better. Aaron's really good. I'm hoping someone better than him comes around and just like dust the park with their fanciness of insane design skills. I wanted Angus to get into. Angus is really, really good in Fusion. I would love to see Angus do something, but he already did. He did the Fallout one, which is an awesome printer, and he made it like his entire base of the printer, where the motors go, where the smooth rods go, is one big piece that he made. And I think that was just, I mean, it was genius, honestly, how he did that. So I would really like to have somebody with some like super serious design skills enter this and just show everybody what someone who knows what they're doing can do. But I also want amateurs like myself to show, hey, like, you put time into it, it's what you come up with. I had to make some very interesting concessions in my design as well. Just the way I did it, probably not right, but you know, it is what it is. Yes, this is where, I mean, this is, I can see a little bit of some of the issues in there. But I can definitely see where slowing things down on up here, editing that acceleration will definitely help, I think, on the walls of the cabin. Because it's just going too fast up there. Right at the top, definitely have that step. I don't know why it's there. Like, I can't account for why these different... It looks like the spots happen because... I'm not going to zoom in because it's going to be hard for me to tell you, but like the topmost one lines up with the top of the back window and where the archway starts. The next line down lines up with where the bow stops. And then the next line down is where the solid layers stop inside the benchy. And then from there down, it's pretty much fine. Well, and then we have the solid layer here. This line in the middle here is from where the solid layer is for the deck, the main deck. So I've got the settings all in here. Let me go ahead and build this. And yeah, we'll see what happens with it. I do not have linear advance enabled at all, I don't think. I don't even know where it's at. Yeah, not enabled. I don't have it enabled on any of my printers, honestly. I think I did it on the FT5 to play around with, but it's not enabled on any of my printers. It helps if you have a way to measure the deflection as the extruder rides back and forth. Roller gauges. What are you talking about, Den? Yeah, Prusa's use it, but I don't change it. Whatever it is set on the printer is what it's set. I've never tuned it on say if it's in the Prusa firmware, I've never tuned it. So asks me to update. How do I do that? I have no idea what it's saying here. By default in the older Prusa firmware. I mean, I have the Prusa firmware I'm using is the newest, is the latest and greatest on the OG i3 Mark III. %. We're almost done. I might need to grab a different color filament so that we can actually see a little bit better, especially on camera, what this printer's doing. I might find another spool, and then when I do this firmware update, the one thing I have noticed with this board though is that I have to take out the SD card in the screen in order for it to know to update from the board one. I swore something else I needed to print today. The wife asked for, was it? Still need to print those keys. Been on my to-do list for months. Thought I smelled plastic on the Mark III. There's some plastic from a previous fail on the heater there. I can smell it just kind of boiling. We're not going to see anything else there, so it's going to stop the print. Stop the print. Yeah, it's really hard to tell in this filament. Damn near impossible, actually. Let's go here. Now, if you look, you can see deflection right here in the print. So that is where the deck is. And then up here, you can still see this top line right there. Do this here. The top line right here is where the top of this door frame is and where the top of the window is here. And then the next line down is right here. And that is where the bow ends. And the next line is right here. Oops, right there. See, it goes along right there. And that is where this front deck here ends. But there, I mean, there's zero ghosting on it, which is good, right? No, I mean, you'd see your ghosting right here on the back side of the holes on the bow. There's no ghosting there at all, which is great. All right, well, let's try this again. Let me, where's my, pull that, turn this off. Let's get out that SD card. We'll try it with some new acceleration rate things. I don't think it's Z wobble, honestly. The Z is pretty good. Z wobble would be I'm using Prusa Slicer Den. Old. Come on, computer. What's going on here? Old. Okay. It's in now. Do 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 do. Really, the reason why I'm using Prusa Slicer is I'm trying to do other things other than Simplify 3D. I use Simplify 3D for everything. And if they are going to come out with a $150 pay to get version 5, if version 5 ever happens, I don't want to pay that. So Idea Maker, a lot of people are talking about. I have not tried it yet at all. Maybe I'll try it, one day. So I mean, I have it downloaded, I have it installed, but I haven't started tuning. It's just really hard to do new profiles for all these printers. So every new printer I get now, I am at least trying to get a Prusa Slicer profile going for it. All right, let's try this Benchy again with some new acceleration values and see if that changes anything. I have 27. If you're, I mean, again, Z wobble would be uniform, is what I should say. This is not uniform. I can associate each of the various deformations with a activity on the print, which is why you don't see it on a cube, because there's no various activity. It's just a cube. But on this, you see it because of those changes and because of the space between them. So again, I can kind of make a safe assumption to what those are. Z-wobble would be the exact, you would see the pattern of the lead screw in your print, which would just be waves basically in the walls. Closer here. So that's the difference between Z-wobble and like artifacts from moving. Yeah, I'm thinking it's just that I haven't done an XYZ cube on this yet. I've been sticking with the benchies because I can see the issues where they are. I'm saying where it is nice though, it's nice. Like if you only look at, let me change up here again. If you only look at like there, that looks doggone near perfect. That front part. It's just this tower here and the bulge down there. So again, I still need to tune E-steps and everything like that. But once I get it pretty close to well functioning, then I will go more into the tuning. But again, I don't want to waste time doing that as well because I need to swap this out for V-slot. Right now I'm using V-slot wheels and T-slot. It's not great. So that's not causing any of my issues though. I know that because I would see those, but it's still not ideal. Thought I was seeing deflection in the hot end. No, okay. I thought I was seeing the hot end move, but it's not. Yeah, I'm trying, again, I want to make sure hardware in the frame is totally stable as possible. And I think I'm there, but I need to get these new parts printed in order to verify all of that. So once those finish printing tomorrow, I'll get those installed and kind of go from there. I might tomorrow just cut down all the V-slot, and then maybe Monday's stream will be tearing this down and rebuilding it on the V-slot frame. Still prints better than your OG Tarantula. I think anything prints better than an OG Tarantula unless you like heavily modify it. An ENet on OfferUp. Nice. Very nice. One thing I do miss is picking up. I almost picked up a couple cheap printers when I was back in the US that needed fixed. There's a lot of DaVincis out there that people are trying to sell off. And I know you can do like some hacks on them to do other things, but it's too much work. And those printers don't print well to begin with. So, all right, where are we at on here? We're still on the outside of the box. Should be getting onto the mount soon. Another thing with the AM8, there is a I think Aaron made new couplers for it, or I should say the Z-axis things. I don't know, but he made it fit a bear. So I know he put a bear extruder on his AM8. Those are machines I've never actually got. I never bought one, and I was never ever sent one. ANET has told me they were going to send me their printers for years now. They've never at once shown up. They've offered me resin printers, which I gave them my address. Like, oh yeah, we'll ship one out to you. Never happened. They've offered me some of their other A8s or the A8 Pro or Plus, whatever it's called. Those never showed up either. So it is what it is. Barrelized, yep. So this printer, another thing, I am using the standard 44 millimeter spacing that i3s use, which is nice. So I could use a bare extruder if I wanted to. I could put a bare hot end on this and do a direct drive. Obviously that would be dumb because it's cantilever and that's a lot of weight on there, but it is possible. I tried my best to keep the gantry as light as possible. The only way to make it lighter is to get rid of the 50-15 and go to a 40-10 fan. But those don't move a lot of air, and I'm not a big fan of them. I've hit up their reps on LinkedIn, but none of them ever replied. I just hit up one a few days ago, actually. She never replied. I get random emails from them to my official, my Shane at Fugatech 3D Printing email. I'll get emails from all kinds of companies. And the thing that just ticks me off is that they send me an email saying, hey, I want to work with you. Great. And it'll go one of two ways. One, I'll say, okay, great. I would love to work with you too. Let me know what you need. And then they're like, well, actually, we looked at your channel. You're just not big enough for the exposure we want. Like, we're looking for like 5,000 to 10,000 views at a minimum per video. So we're not going to do it. I'm like, why did you not look that up before you emailed me? Like, that just wastes my time. And another one where companies email you, they want to work with you. Great. We talk back and forth. Yep, you're going to send me a printer. As soon as I get it, I'll do an unboxing and kind of tune and go from there. And then they're like, all right, send me your address and we'll get one shipped out to you. Send them my address. Nothing ever happens. They never send a printer. And I'll reach back out to them saying, hey, any updates on this? They never reply again. So it's a huge waste of time, honestly. But Den, this is not a COVID issue. This is a year's issue. This has been happening to me for 2.5 years. Pretty much once you break the 10,000 subscriber mark, more companies will contact you. At least that's my experience. And then you can't get anything from like GearBest or Banggood unless you push their links every day. It drives me crazy. There are some people out there in the community that will just push an ANET link or a GearBest or a Banggood link until they're blue in the face. I will not do that. I'll put a link in the bottom of the video and that is it. I will never link them any other time or anything like that. Because if you don't want to buy from GearBest or anything like that, then don't. Like, buy on Amazon. I don't care. But they care because they don't get any money from it. Which is why neither of those companies send me anything anymore. Yeah, I don't have Tom's problem. Tom gets things because he's the second or third largest 3D printing channel. Between Angus, Joel, and Tom, you have the 3 largest channels. Then you have RC Life On, who's also way up there. He does more RC, lots of 3D printing, but lots of RC stuff. But for pure 3D printing channels, those are your 3. They get everything. They'll get stuff even though they don't want it. They're just going to send it to them because they're just hoping that, hey, the biggest 3D printing channel on YouTube might show off our product. Yay. The X, honestly, you could probably print the whole thing in PLA. I chose PETG. I might be thinking that could be some of my issue as well, as I definitely know it's on for the X that I'm redesigning in PLA Plus. I definitely know that's the issue because if this was in PLA, it wouldn't flex. PETG does have flex to it, so I've printed printers fully in PLA before, no issues. It's a age-old argument, honestly. Oh yeah, CNC Kitchen. Yeah, he's also, but CNC Kitchen dabbles mostly 3D printing, but I mean, but still, he's also one of the top big ones. If I had to pick 5 channels, CNC Kitchen, Tom, Joel, Angus, and RC Life. Those are the 5 biggest 3D printing channels. I mean, you also see all the people that got the Crowdy Ender 2, right? Or the Ender 3 V2. Not this guy. Because I don't push out enough views. Whatever. It's fine. I don't do YouTube to make money. I do it to pay for the hobby. I do it to share my experiences. But this is not my job. This is what I do at night. The new stuff that Stefan's been doing with the little the mini lathe, that's sick. That is really cool to see. I've only ever used a woodworking lathe before, and it was a lot of fun. But I had this fascination with lathes. Like whenever what's his name? When Adam Savage does work on his lathe, I always watch those videos. I watch most of Adam Savage's videos, but I I really watch when Adam Savage does any lathe work, and then um, Alex Steele does. He's one of the blacksmiths. When he does lathe stuff, it's just so satisfying to watch, and it's so cool that people can get so precise with what they're making on a lathe. I mean, and Stefan's making his own nozzles. That's pretty sick. I like that one a lot. And then also Stefan with the what is he? He has those rigs to like test filament like that. That is super cool to be able to do. He's also like an engineer or something like that. He's a super smart guy. But I would love to be able to have the space to make a rig like he has and test filament. I've tested hundreds of filaments, but I've never done any stress testing with any of them. And I generally worry about printability. How printable is a filament? And that's what I really worry about. But if I could do printability and do testing like Stefan does, I think that would add a lot to my videos. But I just don't have the number one, I don't not have the knowledge on how to do that. I do not have the space for a rig like that either. Maybe one day I'll get smarter and be able to do something like that, but that's nothing in my near future, I don't think. Eduardo, we're not going to get into him right now because I will go off on a tangent. Like I will go off so hardcore on him. I would love to meet that guy in person and just rip into him full knife hand military style. Just I would love it. It would give me way too much joy in life. Oh yeah, I forgot about Make Anything. That's Devin. That's his name, right? He hasn't put anything out in a while. At least I haven't got notifications for it. I have notifications for them, but I haven't seen it from him in a long time. But he has done some pretty cool stuff in VR, which kind of got me into playing with VR. Um, that's been he does some cool design stuff and then prints it. I like that a lot. Yeah, Dan, I maybe I just I could look into it. I don't know. I'm afraid to go down that rabbit hole and do it wrong. The fact that I don't touch on structural or integrity of a print keeps me out of that thing. Like no one can accuse me from, you know, doing a test incorrectly or anything like that. No one can blame me of or accuse me of that. But once I have a rig and I like kind of look like I know what I'm doing, I really need to know what I'm doing. We're in the solid deck layer, so this is where our first deformation usually comes in at. Deformation, deformation, whatever. God, these kids, they came through and I found like 12 of my screwdrivers throughout the house today because my 3-year-old and 5-year-old decided to get up before everybody else and just wreak havoc in the house. And they took a lot of stuff out of my office. Little buggers. Oh, here's a spring. I dropped my thing of springs the other day. Huh? Yeah. Um, bed clips going here. Springs go here. He even took the wrench to my Dremel. Little bugger. Ooh. I have a Oculus Rift, and I just saw the Quest 2 was just announced, like, what, 2 days ago, that it's in mass production, potentially coming out in September. 100% buying one of those. I've been wanting to get a Quest for a while to take when I travel, because I think especially when I move countries, or I also do a lot of traveling for work, it'd be really fun to take that with me and just kind of have something to do in a hotel room when you have nothing else to do. Because I usually take my laptop, but I don't want to take like the whole Rift headset. That's a little much. But taking the Quest with me instead of a laptop might be fun. Dimple, this is the MKS Robin E3 version 1. It has integrated TMC 2209 drivers. Smash with a hammer, Darren. Is it strong? Whack. I do have my Wii hammer though, which my uncle hates. He's a carpenter. He hates this little hammer. Family reunion. This is a little 4-ounce hammer from Lowe's. We do this, we do a men's card game and a women's card game, and it's a goofy game. We've got 52 cards. Everyone has 4 cards. They pick a card. There's prizes in the middle, and you pick a bag. And it's dumb things like there'll be dish soap. There's going to be a can of beans. It's just random things. And there's always one big heavy box everyone goes for because it looks fancy, and you never know what it's going to be, or windshield wiper fluid. It's always something goofy. But you steal off each other, and that's the point of the game. But then for everybody who doesn't get a bag, there's obviously not a bag for everybody in there, you get whatever the little whatever the little constellation prize is. And I got one year this little hammer. And this little hammer is, I mean, I've eaten the heck out of the head on various things. But this little hammer is great for little projects. I'm like, I just need a little tap here. Then I've got my big 16-ounce hammer that I use for driving nails and walls and things like that. But I could, let's see, does it break with a 4-ounce hammer? Whack. No. How about a 16-ounce hammer? Whack. Or just start dropping it from, this is about shoulder height. Oh, it's about head height. C goes from there. Will a large board break the budget limit? Well, Dimple, the budget limit is 130 bucks. And I mean, a 32-bit board for $20 with integrated drivers, I can't really see anybody doing any better than that. The problem isn't the board, honestly. You could use it. You could use a ramps board, honestly, and get the same quality prints. The whole thing with this design challenge is designing a printer that's going to fit in that budget. And you have to make sacrifices. You know, having it be an i3, having a whole nother 2 pieces of extrusion on this side raises the budget like $14. So you really have to plan out everything. This is 1 meter of 2040 extrusion. What I have right now, 3 pieces of 2040. It is 1 meter. You can get a meter for $10. But as soon as I add on another 300 and I think this is 350. Oh no, this is shorter than that. This is only 250, and then another 350. So that's another 600. So that's a 1.6 meter long stick. You're adding almost $10 more. Or getting another meter to get that. You're adding about $10. So that's kind of where you have to play the game of, okay, what's cheaper? And then by doing that, if you're going to do it with 2040, okay, you have to do another set of wheels. Or if you're going to do more of a Prusa style, you have to add on those smooth rods on each side. And then dual Z on that as well, unless you're going to do rollers in a single Z like an Ender 3 does. There's a lot of different ways you could go about this. But I've picked the cheapest, best board I could find and went from there. Because I wanted 32-bit. I wanted silent. That was also for me. I wanted magnetic heat bed. I wanted heated bed. I wanted magnetic bed. I wanted a silent printer. Those are pretty much my 3 biggies. And I wanted a screen. So those are my 4 must-haves for this printer. It is really tough. And that's the whole reason why it's a challenge. I want people to put their thinking cap on, and I want them to, I got such a teacher there. Thinking caps on, guys. I really wanted people to think about what they're designing and will it work? No problem paying $9.50 for the Vive. It came out for 30 years. Yeah, VR. I bought the Rift. I got it in the Christmas of 2018. So right after we moved here, that was my kid's big gift to me was the VR headset, and they love it. I love it. We use it not every day. We did use it every day for quite a while, and we'll go through streaks of like every day using it. I'm such an old person. I don't want them to hurt their eyes very much because it's really not that good for your eyes. So I usually let them play about 30 minutes when they play. My two oldest, my 10 and 7-year-old can play 30, 45 minutes each. Usually at the end of the night when I put all the little kids to bed, they can play, and then I put them to bed. Especially now we have nothing to do and we're just home all the time. I let them do that. Oh, there's I'm gonna call you free Chet. He's the lawn chair dude. $20 for a bunch of rods. He's the one that's making out of a lawn chair. That is pretty epic. And I really didn't. The other thing we didn't do in this challenge, which we could do another one after this. Like this one, I wanted $130 to buy everything brand new. Not counting shipping, because shipping right now with the pandemic is crazy. But I wanted something to be that someone could see my design, like, you know what? Like, I'm the best. He wants my design. He's like, I want to build that. He could go to my BOM list where all the links are, everything I bought, and he could buy that part and build this printer. I think that's cool. Now, another thing that we could do is off of what he's doing is the lawn chair you had laying around. Whatever you've got laying around to make one. Now, granted, that's a little more difficult for people that don't do this all the time. I have tons of extrusion laying around, smooth rods, motors from printers I've disassembled or extra ones I've bought. Like I could make printers out of basically nothing. So that would be a little bit more harder one, but it would be interesting to see, okay, what are people going to use it to build with? Oh, I've got this old whatever. I'm going to take this apart and see if I can build a printer out of it. Like the lawn chair. All right, we're just about on the mount with 50 minutes left. This is where it really starts to slow down. 57% on the feet. The new feet for this sucker. I have to print new. Oh, I have to do that too. But that TPU is not dry. I need to dry that TPU so I can print new feet for it as well. Line is there. It's definitely less noticeable with the new values. That's a little less noticeable. All right, where are we at now? Okay, real quick, hang on. Oh, Dan, I see you in there. I can give you a printer roll so you can see the channels. All right. I I went ahead and adjusted just the acceleration settings. So Keith sent me the Ender 2 firmware, and I took the values from that, which basically just lowered them down a little bit. It was right here. So I just tuned the max feed rate, the max acceleration, and the default accelerations and retract, things like that. I changed those to match the Ender 2 to see if maybe that would help a little bit with some of these issues I have in here. So, could the wobble be based on your PTFE? Highly doubtful. I've never seen that caused by PTFE before, and I use the cheapest PTFE I can find ever. I don't use quality PTFE because it's junk. I tried Capricorn. I can't. I use too broad a variety of filaments, and they're all not within spec, and Capricorn's too tight. Vince, what's up? Also, Capricorn's outer diameter is only 3.9, not 4 mil, so it slips out of PTFE fittings. So I am not a Capricorn fan whatsoever. How rigid is the X carriage? Very. I don't have any wobble in here. I had wobble in here, which is the Z rod had a little bit of wobble. I solved that with this 2020 extrusion right here because my X, because I have this piece of extrusion, this piece of extrusion joined by filament, 3D printed parts, and they are too flimsy. So I have new ones printing now to try and eliminate that, so I don't need to use this piece of 2020. Because again, I use this to eliminate that that variable of the wobble. I'm using this 2020 to get rid of that variable. I also use some 2028 metal brackets here in the corner to eliminate the variable of the Z wobbling. So that's why I'm systematically changing some things as I'm printing an object, changing certain things, and going from there. This first one with the most extreme wobble in it, this one is before I put the strap on and the metal on there, and that did improve significantly, but not entirely. So again, we're just trying to go through there little by little. No, there's no drag on the X carriage. I mean, this right here, no. It's tight. It's not that tight. And if the motor would skip, I mean, the motor would skip or something like that. I'm using tooth bearing. I mean, it's pretty locked in there. I mean, it's not super tight, but it's definitely tight enough. Because this is my the little nifty way to do a belt tensioner on there. I took notes of one of Aaron's designs. He used this on a bear carriage, or not a bear carriage, but with his AM8 carriage, he used kind of this thing here, where 2 bolts are pushing on the end of the rods to pull the outer shell away, which puts tension on the belt. Very interesting way to do it. But I'm not noticing any issues from that. No, it's good. I mean, hey, if somebody wants to throw out an idea, I asked that off the other stream. Last night's stream when I was mainly working on the design here. If anybody had any ideas, please throw them at me. I would love to, if I have not thought about it, try it out, or if I did think about it, explain it, and then maybe my explanation doesn't match what is actually happening. I mean, I'm not a professional. This is what I do as a hobby. So what I come back at you with as, oh, no, it's not doing it because of this. Well, you could be like, no, Shane, you're an idiot because of X, Y, and Z, or just X. Like, it could be something else that I'm not thinking of. So anyone has any ideas, 100% throw them at me. And I will either defend why I think it's right, or I'll be like, I haven't tried that yet. Let me try that. I mean, I'm not doing any of these changes just haphazardly. I'm doing them for specific reasons. little bit there from the, which I knew that was going to happen. Very interesting. Where are we at now? I need to play with Octolapse. Octolapse stopped working recently for me. So I need to re-enable the plugin and see what happened, or I might need to reinstall the plugin. I had it disabled for a little while because I had taken the camera off of it, put the camera back on, got the camera working again, the webcam, and now Octolapse just is like, nope, not going to work anymore. So don't really know why that's happening. Again, I'm trying to do all of the troubleshooting for this one in Prusa Slicer. So the only thing that I'm kind of thinking about is actually making a Simplify 3D profile and trying it out. And because I still have my Ender 2 profile, and see if that does anything with this. No matter how hard I try, I still go back to Simplify 3D. Because it works. No matter what anybody says, it just works, and it works so well. But now that I have a really tuned profile for the Prusas and for Megatron in there, the Sapphire Pro has a profile in there, and the BLV-MGN has a Simplify 3D profile. I have not made one for Prusa Slicer yet, but I need to try Idea Maker soon. Give that a shot. Cabin, bottom of the wheel soon. Once we get to there, we should see another deformation from the last bit of the deck. See how that turns out. Yeah, again, a lot of people were talking about Idea Maker. Just have not put the time into it yet. It was really bad because I really don't have an excuse for time, especially now, all the kids in bed. But it just learning another slicer and making profiles for all these printers again. Just dude, I've never installed Cura. I've installed Cura a few times just to show people something in it because I don't know where it's at. And I just go in there to get it. But yeah, Cura sucks. Yeah, right now for me it's all Simplify 3D and Prusa Slicer for a few machines. Let's see what I have in here. I have Master Cranes in here. The Mega Zero, I did do Mega Zero for this one. Megatron, the Sapphire Pro, and the two Mark IIIs. The OG and the clone. Eject both the SD cards, bring in your computer, put the files on it, put them back in there, navigate through the menus and do all that. But you can do all that in the Canvas Hub. It's much easier. I used Cura for the first, like, I don't know, maybe month that I had a 3D printer. That was with my Gtech i3 aluminum. So super duper crummy printer was my first one. And maybe after a month, I found a copy of Simplify 3D that I tried. I loved it, so then I bought a license. I didn't want to spend $150 on a software that I didn't want to see, so I downloaded a copy and tried it, liked it, then bought a legit copy. So mine has my name in it now. But it was a good trial run, and I've been using that ever since then. I didn't update from like 3 to 4 for a couple months after it came out because I just didn't have any issues. So, but anyways, go back to the Pis. Like if you only have a few printers, having a Pi on them is really, really nice. But when you have this many printers, and I don't keep all of them all the time, it's just not worth the money. And I can just walk to the printer and plug it in. Like I don't really mind that at all. Just having this table here in the middle of the room has been quite a pain lately because of working all these different printers. But I'm getting rid of a few printers soon. And I just ordered, I ordered a board? I think I ordered a board for the old A10 I'm going to rebuild and get rid of that one. But a couple other printers here I'm going to get rid of soon just because I don't use them and they could go to better homes. I'm having a lot more fun with the custom stuff. Because on my TiVo Tarantula Pro, I printed the review on it, and then shortly after I got all those prints done, they basically closed their doors, and now they're open up as homers. So doing a review on that printer is useless. And I never did a review on the A10 or the Ender 3 because they changed it up. What? Oh, hang on a second. Hang on, the wife needs me. Oh dear. She had to show me a funny video. Pretty good. Maker Kid, yeah, TiVo closed their doors for about 6 months, and then they rebranded or were bought by somebody, and they're now called Homers. Yeah, Maker Kid, the orange one right here, that's the one that is on the Discord. Which, is it doing it right now? With what I'm printing? Oh yeah, it's going right now. Well, they've renamed everything. Like the Tarantula Pro is no longer called the Tarantula Pro. It's called like the, not the Morpheus. What do they call it now? Let me look it up real quick here. So, yeah, TiVo USA and then Homers. It's sold out. Like their website's still there, but there's nothing there. Everything's been rebranded here under Homers. Okay, let's do 3D printer. And the Odyssey. So the TiVo Odyssey / TiVo Tarantula Pro. Let me pull this up big here. So here it is. So this is now, they've redesigned the whole thing. I mean, the extrusions are all different. They've added some more chamfers, a lot more chamfers. It looks to be a little bit beefier as well. But this is the new TiVo Tarantula Pro. It's completely different. Odysseus. What did I say? Odyssey? Sorry, Odysseus. Yeah. There's no reason for me to publish a review for a printer you can't buy anymore. Three printers they have. Three printers. So they have the Odysseus. And they've got their resin. And yeah, they do, I guess, have the little monster. What is it called? Doesn't work like that. Yeah, so the Odysseus, a couple different variations of it from $229 up to $339. The Homers / TiVo Little Monster, so that name remained the same. The Homers / TiVo Nereus is the same. Tornado remained the same name. They just have the TiVo Black Widow as the TiVo Black Widow, probably because they, that's just the heated bed is $15. They still have the TiVo Michelangelo. Yeah, so it's kind of like hit and miss here what they have. Yeah, but I don't know if they were bought or why they changed their name. Maybe because TiVo has such a bad rep that they thought that they should rebrand their company. I don't know. But either way, you can't buy the printer that I have anymore. The A10 changed shortly after I got it, so doing a review was useless. The Ender 3 changed shortly after I got it. Doing a review was useless. I said, yeah, then the TiVo was that way. The AlphaWise U30 I have changed shortly after I got it. Useless doing a review of it. I mean, that's the problem, is that by the time a company finally sends me a printer and it takes me a month to get it, they've already released 2 new versions. So, the Michelangelo was a big deal. I know 3D Maker Noob has at least one. I don't know if he still has it, though, because he's converted most of his farm to Prussia's, I think. TiVo bought their brand from a guy in Texas. Interesting. Yes, all these Benchis are in PLA. But I'm actually going to run for 1 minute. I'll be back. We'll put a BRB screen up. But while that prints, I'll be right back. And I'm back. Actually, I'm gonna have to change batteries on my mic here. Just give me a quick second there. Get some double A's. Okay, should be back now. All right. The fan and use the same bolts. I'm not sure what you're saying, Kretek. Or Kriek, sorry. About the same noticeability on that part there, maybe a little less. Oh, funny, I'm actually printing the old Benchy, not the newer STL. Interesting. Or G-code, I should say. No, we'll see what happens. Again, Tiva's website's here, but I think their contact probably even works anymore. Surprised their website's even up. It's not their name anymore. I do need to contact these guys about the about that bed. Oh heck, they have a whole y-axis for that much. Whole linear rail kit. Oh, I've seen this website before. Yeah. It's a lot. Beds and sleds. Oh, this is the one I was going to get that bed from. Yeah. The lightweight sled. Sold out. The 3-point leveling bed. It's $30. But it has the proper mounting holes on it. Here they put theirs on the bottom side of it. Interesting. They just have an adapter that goes on the bottom there that connects to it. How sturdy that is. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe they made a sled for it. They did it in an interesting way. Without having to... Yeah, they put it just like that, have their own belt tensioner built into it. Keeps the belt that way. It's not too bad. It's like basically just a 3D printed adapter. That just makes it higher though. That's the only thing. It makes it like 5 mil higher, 6 mil higher. There's definitely something that I need to look into on how they're doing this. See, these ones did their belts that way. Oh, this is using those crazy rail systems. The motor mounted that direction. These guys did side mounted again here. I don't like that. Interesting. More to think about on that and how I'm gonna do that. I really like the idea though. Let me get out of the way. Might be too early to tell, but I think these new values are doing a little bit better than the other ones were doing. Retraction is still off, but it's definitely looking better. Got 14 minutes left on my frame. I really hope the LCD fits. I'm going to be so mad if it doesn't. 3 hours for a print and it not fit. So angry. Grabbed a snack while I was out because I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna have some crackers. Where'd that go? There it is. Yeah, I'm hoping this weekend I can move some of these printers out of here. I need to make some space somewhere because I got to get this bear finished. I need those parts to come in. It would be super epic if those rods and that bed come in, that bed sled, then I can finish up the bear and get that running. And then I don't know what I'm going to do with this A10. I'll have a board in it that'll fit. Let me do that now, I guess, while we're waiting for these prints to finish. See if I can make some space on my desk here for another printer. What's that? Oh, it's a bowl holder. Cars the kids broke today. More stuff for Dad to fix. It's like my kids. What's up with that? Savages, what they are. Put these M4 bolts away. Put this stuff away. Is these M4s? Those are M5s. I have an end stop that needs to get put away somewhere. Where's my end stop drawer? Put you in there for now. 3s and 5s. Here for now. T-nuts. I keep tripping over this power cable. All right. Let's pull this sucker up here. Because I did get some new boards in. I don't know if any of them will fit in this here. Let's see if I think I have some more coming, or I think they're in my, not ordered them yet. Night, dude. But either way, the G-Tech boards that come with this stuck. So I do have this. I have an MKS Gen board here that will fit. I just need to print a base for it. So that would be interesting because it would fit this way. Fit that way. I won't be able to get to the power connectors. It has to go in that way, like that, in order to get it to fit. So I've got this old board that I can put some in, at least. It'll be quieter. All it really needs to be a little bit quieter. And then I have, where else did I recently get? I have a S-Gen board, an MKS S-Gen L, which is just the new version of the MKS Gen L that I could use. The Gen L, I could put 32 on there and make that work. I would need to use a screen, which I have this bar here for, a case for it, and could potentially get this running with this board here. This is out of the HE3D K280 had some board in there that was garbage. I took it out and I put this board in there, but the printer just junk, so I killed the printer to make more printers. That's pretty much. I think that's gonna be my option, is to put this board in here. But I need to figure out what to do. So if we do, let's go into Fusion here, new design, and then we're going to go into GrabCAD GT2560. Exactly what I need here. So what I'm going to do is, let's do create base feature. We're going to use this as a template. Insert mesh, download. Okay, right click. Mesh to rep, okay. And then we are going to tear down the polygons a little bit here. Too many on this model. I do all this in the base feature mode so that none of it affects my timeline later. Life a little bit simpler. Less triangles for the software to get hung up on. That. Space feature. All right, now we have our plane. Oh, it looks like it dropped 10% 2 minutes ago. Interesting. So, whoa, get out of the way. Okay, so if I want to make this centered on the long way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plane here. I'm going to make a construction plane there. Okay. And here we're going to create a sketch. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. But we're going to use these to find my holes there in the middle. We need to do a, how big is this board? I wonder if I could find this in there. I need to find a picture of it. KS Gen L. One. Have a PNG, 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 JPEG, a step file. Perfect. Download that. And then back into Fusion. Let's finish that. I'm gonna upload that. And then we'll insert that here in a second on this plane. And go from there. So I'm gonna have to mount the MKS Gen L to the new plate I'm gonna make, and then that plate will mount to this mounting component. I gotta open it up once. Close it. Now we can pull it into here, potentially. Oh, I need to save it first. So this is MKS Gen L mount to G-Tech GT 2560. See how this works. Go. So let's rotate you 90 degrees. And then I'll rotate you 90 degrees this way. And then five right in the middle. And then how far? It's got to be pretty close to that one side. How far though? How many millimeters is that? Doo-dah, doo-dah. Call that 16 mil to the back of the board. Really hard to tell. Difference between inspect from here to here. .5 degrees. Not telling me what that is there though. So if I do after that, make a line from the center of these holes. Can I find my center, please? There we go. So here we're going to go 16 millimeters. And we'll draw one across. That can move this. There. Hang on. What are you doing? Cancel that. Come on, move. Five. There. That's good enough, I think. Yes, you can make your kid. You just need to go into GrabCAD and look for it. Internet is taking some hits, so if you guys are noticing any, I'm sorry, but I'm seeing drop frames here. $10 to 15%, roughly. Yeah, my rate has gone down quite a bit. Jumping from 2 megs down to 700K. So sorry about that. Yeah, so that's where I need that to be. And then we can go into this sketch here. We can project that hole, that hole, that hole, that hole. Now we can hide this. And then there we have our rectangle where we need to be. So if we just draw like meh. If it is there. Let's go out this side here. Too far outside of it there. If I do this at 104 du by 15, bring you back in. That covers it. Too much here though. Oh, that's wrong. Let's delete that sketch. We'll start that again. Yeah, any step or STL you can import. Line this face with that face, okay? And then we're going to move this up 3 mil. Those all exploded. That's really funky. Let me Control Z, Control Z. Okay, we're going to make this a rigid group. Nope, go back. Cancel that. Right click, rigid group, capture position. Okay. And now we're going to, what did I say we're going to do? We're going to align this face with that face. Okay. And then we're going to move it 3 mil up. That'd be plenty to give us a little standoff off of there. And now we need to create a sketch on that plane there. I'm going to project all of these holes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay to that. Now we can hide the board. And now, can't be that far outside of those holes on one of the sides. So we're just going to go there. To there. What are we at? It's 109 by 103. Okay. There we have our sketch for the new board mounts. So theoretically, if I extrude this, remill up, that's my mounting plate. But I do need to extrude up these inner circles. There's not so much play in it. Like that. I'll mount the board to this plate, and then the plate will mount inside of here. And that should take care of our problem there. Potentially. The only issue, which I wish I could fix, was the USB port access is pretty much gone. The only way to edit this is going to be to take out the board, which does suck. To work on the firmware, at least, it's going to have to take the board out. Unless I move it over to there, that does give me more space. It also makes that 3D print way bigger. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff you can do in Fusion these days we just don't know about. I gotta say, there's one pretty big blemish on this. Other than that, good golly, Miss Molly, this looks good. I'm gonna let this one finish this time, but it's looking pretty fantastic. Oh, wait, the LCD mount finished. Oh, man. Look at this sucker. A couple strings from PETG. Where are we at here? Bam. Master crane. Now, question is, does it fit? Oh my God, it fits. It fits so nice. Let me get out some M3s here real quick and attach it. And then once this print finishes, we can see how well it mounts to the doohickey. Let's see, what size are we gonna need here for this? 12 mil? Pretty big. I think 10 will be okay. 3. Cool. Probably could have made the holes in there a wee bit tighter, but we can easily fix that. Oh, you can't see it. You can't see it. There it is. It fits. Yeah, I have other I'm going to use different cables. Oh, okay. Oh, I just screwed it up. Yeah, I just screwed it up. Oh, man. No, stop. I screwed it up because I was messing with it. That's all right. This is 2 and 1. Aw, dang it, it hits the motor. Matches up. It just hits the motor by a lot. I need to change this angle significantly. What if I could do that with heat? Hits the motor. Son of a gun. That's okay. Let's look at this benchy real quick. You have to ignore the top since I hit it and it screwed up the print. Put these bolts away before I knock them off. All right, so print time. So we've got a little bit of deformation right here, again, where the deck is. It's kind of known there. But all of this here is gone. Just have this up here, which is where, well, that's above where that valve, but that is where all of these meet up. That's where it has that one issue there. Why that line is there, I cannot explain. But everything else, look, so good. You can't tell me that's not a good looking benchy right there. You cannot tell me that. What is up with this line? Why is this line happening? Why? Why, oh, why is it happening? Man, this looks so good. I mean, we are a little stringy. Where are we at? Where's my camera? There we go. Zoom on my hands. There we go. We got some strings in there. That's easy to fix. Holy cow, does this look good? But what is up with that line there? Do I have any good benchies here to compare to? Here's one. Can't figure it out. I mean, why? Why is it doing that? I have never gotten this line up top. I have never had this line up here before. So what could be causing it? Anybody knows? Please tell me. Because that is definitely above where the bow ends. The bow ends there. So that line's above it. But that is where those various towers meet on both the doors and the rear window. That's where that line is at, is where those meet each other. What's that from? Weak there? No. It's not weak there. Just it's the same on all the prints. They all have that issue at that layer. This is going to be a Twitter post, I think. I'll put a post on this on Twitter and ask, who knows why this is happening? Everything else was really good. So, all right, well, for lack of any how much separation do you have on your V wheels and the X motor support mechanic? How much separation do you have on your V wheels? The inside of the two wheels. I don't know. I imported a 2040 model and then threw the wheels in there. And I used the eccentric nut to take up any of the slack that I did not account for. So, truly and honestly don't know what the spacing is on those. I did not measure at all. All right, well, I've got some things I need to fix here. I'm going to play with a model for this, for the A10 to get this board in there. Brandon, you're asking, this is a frame. I thought I was going to just salvage the frame, but I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to put a new board in there that I know works. I just need to make a mount for it, and I'm going to just get rid of this printer. I don't want it anymore. I don't need it anymore. And I would just hate to get rid of it because I've done so much good work on it. And I went ahead and rewired everything. It's got all new motors, all new motor wires to kind of make it more modular like everything else has. So I want to just get rid of this printer. I'm going to get it working and get going. So yeah, I'll put a post on Twitter. If anybody knows why this is happening, please let me know. I've never seen that issue before, but maybe somebody knows what's wrong and go from there. I've got more work to do on Master Crane. I'm going to do some modeling tonight for both Master Crane's LCD and for the mount for the board for this printer. And go from there, have some fun, try to get these things working. So thanks for hanging out, guys. I appreciate it. If you want to support me in any way, there's a bunch of links down below. Patrons really funded the channel, so if you guys want to become a patron, there is a link down there for that. If you want to throw a one-time donation, there's a link down there for that stuff too. Otherwise, use the affiliate link, save yourself some money, use those coupon codes, and stay safe, wash your hands, happy printing. I'll see you guys Monday night for a stream. I don't know what it's going to be about, but I'll be streaming Monday night for something new.